So we woke up to some crazy revelations about the Bayonetta 3 voice actress. She was recently replaced by Jennifer Hale, but the original voice actress, Miss Hellena Taylor, actually tweeted out a three-part video that we're going to take a look at and then we're going to talk about, and I would really love to hear your guys' opinion about the whole situation.
Hello, my name's Hellena Taylor and I am the voice of Bayonetta, and I would like to explain to you why I didn't voice Bayonetta 3. The Bayonetta franchise made an approximated $450 million. That's not including merchandise. As an actor, I trained for a total of 7.5 years. 3 years at the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art, LAMDA, with voice coach Barbara Barkery, and 4.5 years with the legendary Larry Moss in Los Angeles. And what did they think this was worth? What did they offer to pay me? The final offer to do the whole game as a buyout, a flat rate, was $4,000 US. This is an insult to me, the amount of time that I took to work on my talent and everything that I have given to this game and to the fans. I am asking the fans to boycott this game and instead spend the money that you would have spent on this game donating it to charity. I didn't want the world. I didn't ask for too much. I was just asking for a decent, dignified living wage. What they did was legal, but it was immoral. Me on Twitter know that I'm more of a lover than a fighter, and sometimes think I'm not very much like Bayonetta at all, but I guess I am a little bit more like Bayonetta than I thought. I understand that boycotting this game is a personal choice, and there are those that won't, and that's fine. But if you're someone who cares about people, who cares about the world around you, who cares about who gets hurt with these financial decisions, then I urge you to boycott this game. I decided to do it to stand up in solidarity with people all over the world who do not get paid properly for their talents. Fat cats cream off the top and leave us the rotten crumbs. You know, in England right now, there are nurses going to food banks to feed their children. This is not right. This is not acceptable. It impacts mental health. Because of it, I suffered from depression and anxiety. I worried that I was going to be on the streets. That terrified me so much that once I was suicidal. I am not afraid of the non-disclosure agreement. I can't even afford to run a car. What are they going to do? Take my clothes? Good luck to them. Bayonetta always stands up for those with less power and stands up for what is right. And in doing this, you stand with her. I'd like to go into a little more detail about the back and forth. The first thing was I was required to audition again, because sometimes voices change with time. So I auditioned for the role and obviously passed with flying colours. They then sent me an insulting offer. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to write to Hideki Kamiya. I'm going to write to him and ask him for what I'm worth. So I got a friend who has been in business in Japan to write in Japanese to him. I know he read it because I got a reply. I got a reply saying that he values greatly my contribution to the game and that the fans really want me to voice it over, and the memory of first meeting me as Bayonetta is a memory I hold dear. So I thought, great, thank God. That was when they offered me 4,000 US dollars. Do you know, Platinum had the cheek to say that I was busy, that they couldn't make it work with Miss Taylor's schedule. Well, I had nothing but time. They now have a new girl voicing her over. And I love actors. I wish her all the joy in the world. I wish her all the jobs, but she has no right to say she is the voice of Bayonetta. I created that voice. She has no right to sign merchandise as Bayonetta, any more than I have the right to sign as Eva Green, even though I was her parrot on the video game The Golden Compass. That portrayal is hers and hers alone. They'll probably try and do a spin-off with Jan. Don't buy that either. So, to Kamiya, the presidents of Nintendo, and all other fat cats around the world, I would like to quote to you from the greatest moral teacher who ever lived, Jesus Christ, from his parable of Lazarus and the rich man. Lazarus was a poor beggar with sores all over his body, and he lived outside the house of a rich man who banqueted and feasted every day and wore purple. Lazarus even hoped for even a scrap off the rich man's table, which he never gave Lazarus. Only the dogs pitied him and licked his sores. Lazarus died, and the angels took him straight up to heaven, to the bosom of Abraham. Meanwhile, the rich man went to hell and suffered torment, and in his torment he cried out to Abraham, "Abraham, please save me, take me up to heaven." To which Abraham said, "You had your joy in life. Now this is set for eternity." So he said, "Please tell my brothers who are living like I was, send them a messenger so they can repent." To which Abraham said, "We've sent you Moses and the prophets." "Ah, but if you send Lazarus, if a man comes back from the dead, they will listen to him." To which Abraham replied, "If you did not listen to Moses and the prophets, it's unlikely that you'll listen to a man who is risen from the dead." I would like to thank you, the fans who have followed me on Twitter, commented kindly and liked my work. Bless you. I wish you all the joy and luck in the world.
And that's the last thing she posted, was the 4-part video explaining what happened. Basically, they offered her, now when I say they, so Nintendo is the publisher and Platinum Games is the developer of Bayonetta. So, but even though she did at the end there call out Nintendo as well, how much power they had over the decision on in terms of pay, I'm not exactly sure. Platinum Games offered her $4,000 to voice all of Bayonetta 3. What I wanted to show you guys here is some interesting information that was shared. Platinum Games came out and explained why Hellena Taylor wouldn't be coming back. And this was last week. This was posted on IGN. A statement from Platinum Games to Game Informer has confirmed that Taylor, who voiced Bayonetta in the first 2 games, won't be back. Various overlapping circumstances made it difficult for Hellena Taylor to reprise her role. We held auditions to cast the new voice of Bayonetta and offered the role to Jennifer Hale, whom we felt was a good match for the character. They went on to say, "I understand the concerns some fans have about the voice change at this point in the series, but Jennifer's performance was way beyond what we could have imagined. They say I'm confident that her portrayal of Bayonetta will exceed our fans' expectations." I think why we didn't find, or why we didn't hear from her earlier, was because of this confidentiality agreement, but she explains in her videos that she doesn't care about it at this point. And I don't blame her, because let me know what you guys think, and I'll take a look at your comments right now. She's a voice actress. This is how she provides for herself. It's fields in gaming that we often overlook. Really sad to see that a person whose career is based around being the voices of popular characters like Bayonetta was offered so little. What really got to me was the fact that this information was shared. You know, knowing that she was bound by that confidentiality agreement, Platinum Games just came out and started saying that various overlapping circumstances made it difficult for her to reprise her role. But the reality is because they offered her $4,000. This is a very touchy subject when it comes to like the request for boycotting. So Ari, it's gonna be very subjective based on who you ask on what, if you should or shouldn't boycott a game. Obviously that comes down to the individual themselves, whether they want to or not. It's so subjective that I'm not even gonna start saying if you should or not, me personally. You're gonna have some people in her industry, other voice actors, who will step forward and be like, you should. And then you'll have just regular average gamers like us saying, but I really like the game and I want to play it. And so on one side, it really does suck from a human side of things, and I do feel for her like immensely. So I know this wasn't a very easy topic to talk about, you guys, but thank you so much for your attention and time with taking a look at what happened here. But we needed to get that out there, the real reason why we didn't get the original voice actor for Bayonetta, and you heard it straight from her. We're never going to shy away from stuff like this. I know it's hard to talk about, but I think it's important to talk about it. And until we see you next time, stay safe, stay awesome, you're cool.